Hi guys, welcome back to topic 2. Well, actually, this is technically topic 4 of the Morning Game and Watch Shop. So topic 4, this is going to be dipping into a little bit of E3, and next week you'll be getting the last two pieces of what our thoughts are on two other big, two of the three giants we'll be talking about next week. But for this week, we're going to be touching into a little bit of Xbox. Now, what are our Xbox predictions for E3? We know that they talked about Scorpio. We know they're going to talk about Scorpio. Scorpio specs have been out. We know that that's going to be their hard hitter this week, this year. So yeah, I think it's going to be a game changer for Xbox if they can do it correctly. So, what do y'all think is going to be the thing that Xbox will be talking about, and what do they need to do to come above PlayStation?
Well, I mean, they're going to talk about the Xbox 2. No doubt about that. Because did you read that article I sent you?
I did not. Let me look at that real fast.
So the article was talking about the Xbox 2, which has been announced.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing that's happening. It's going to have VR support. It's going to have native 4K.
Even with the release of the Scorpio that they're promising is going to be like a super-powered machine.
That's the thing. And no one has, as far as I can tell, and as far as this article was also talking about, no one's actually said, hey, is Scorpio and Xbox 2 the same thing, or are they two separate things? But Microsoft was really talking about, the Xbox 2 is going to be our next gen. Mm-hmm. They said it's going to be their next generation, but it's not really going to be a next generation because they want to get rid of generations altogether. Generations are usually marked by new games, by a platform that can no longer that the older platforms can no longer support.
So they're basically saying
PS3
we've reached
PS4.
a plateau.
The way the thing that you showed me says Xbox 2, Project Scorpio.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you keep on reading, they aren't sure if they are the same thing because Microsoft isn't being clear about it, which is probably because they want to save that stuff for a bigger conference. You know, they want to release that information when it's going to hit the most eyes, not right now. I mean, there's some smaller conferences, some information going out, but at this point, obviously, everything's being held onto for E3. You know, E3 is the next big thing. So anyway, Microsoft wants to get rid of the idea of console generations. They want a game that's released 10 years from now to still be able to be played on the Xbox One.
Really?
Yep.
Which, cool, that is an awesome ideal. It's never going to happen. I honestly cannot see that ever taking place because a game that's released 10 years from now is just going to be too powerful. And the only way to still run it on an Xbox One is that the developer either has to hamstring the future game or they're going to have to go through like 10 times the amount of work to port it onto this older system. And I don't see developers supporting that. I totally see a hardware manufacturer trying to do it because that's more stuff. You know, they keep on building up this goodwill. They keep on building up this pressure from them that, I already have all these Xboxes. I'm going to keep on with Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's too much money because whenever they make a Call of Duty game that came out on PS4 and PS3, the ones who did PS3 was a different company. You know?
Yeah.
Who did the PS3 ones, and then it's the actual company who did PS4 ones.
And
too much money going to too much money for people to port it. So who knows?
So yeah, I mean, I don't see this whole family thing really working out in functionality. I mean, who knows? Maybe it will. Maybe Microsoft will blow me away. And awesome.
Man, look,
if it does,
it's 2017. Donald Trump's president. We just bombed Syria. Anything is freaking possible at this point. Literally.
But you know, and maybe it'll totally work out. Maybe this generational thing will be awesome, or the non-generational thing, this family thing, will be awesome, and you know, it'll work. I don't see it. Anyway, so they're going to talk about the Xbox 2. I know that. They're going to talk about it. It's got the native 4K. It's got the VR support. So basically, it's a PS4 Pro, which, by the way, you can already get Microsoft. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Because they haven't been able to figure out any kind of solution for the Xbox One. So, like, my current PS4 can do VR, just can't do it well. And I don't know why Microsoft can't really figure that out. Of course, on the other hand, I don't know why Sony can't figure out how to let me play a PlayStation 3 game. So they each have their problems with that. And then, honestly, I don't feel like Xbox 2 is Scorpio. It can't be. Like, Scorpio, they said is game changer. And the Xbox 2 is
supposed to be
not.
like maybe like they're kind of just blending a PC with like a console system kind of thing, whereas like they're trying to get more into like PC gamers to buy a console in a sense. Like it's kind of like the blend of the two.
What
you know what I mean?
what I
Because
was
it's
talking to
so
David about.
powerful.
What I was talking to David about, and honestly, in my thoughts is I don't think there's gonna be an Xbox 2 announced. I think Scorpio is their next is the next step. What I was telling David was like, I think what they want to do is they want they want to merge the two different platforms together.
That scared
the AC
crap out of me.
I think they want to merge.
Somebody ran into the window.
Oh my gosh. They want to merge both platforms. They want to make the person who sits on their couch and plays games to be able to have the same kind of stuff that a PC gamer has. Mm-hmm. So I told David, was like, if they want this console, because Phil Spencer went on to IGN, he had a conversation, said that he wants this console to last the generations. Like, he wants this to be the game changer. So the only way they can do that is if this console is consumer friendly enough to the point where if you were to go to the back of the system, and over time they release new game graphic cards, and instead of having to open up the boxes, like click graphic card, click new graphic card, $30, that'd be the only way they can do something like that.
I kind of be okay with that.
Well, I mean, first off, I don't see it being able to work because, I don't know if you've priced GPUs lately. They're expensive.
Yeah.
A good graphics processor is very, very expensive. So upgrading just that card.
How much is a graphic processor? How much
for a good one, like a good gaming one, you're looking somewhere between about like 300 minimum for like a decent okay.
So with
up
this,
to their GPUs that cost in the neighborhood of several thousand.
Really?
Yeah, and but those are like top of the line.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be top dog for probably like the next, I don't know, like 6 months until the next top of the line one comes out.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Could you see okay, for example, this is far stretched completely, but could you see Microsoft doing something where, so the Scorpio is the initial release that they'd have for this thing, let's just say like the price range is probably around like $599, $600 in total, after taxes and everything. But instead of, so we're talking about multi-generational, instead of releasing new consoles and stuff, they do. Like, those graphic cards are going to cost like $300, but could you see somebody maybe like buying into that and then maybe creating their own cards and developing it like that and then selling them as in like they do with games? Kind of just releasing one every couple years and just being like, hey, this is the new one, it's going to cost you.
It would depend.
$399 for this processor. It's Microsoft brand, and maybe they allow it to be ported so that you can go and buy off-brand processors as well. So it's just completely compatible with anything. You know what I mean?
It would
that's
depend.
far stretched.
It would depend on Microsoft. That gets into some pretty hypothetical routes, but compatibility isn't. You can't just really buy a graphics processor and then just reverse engineer and be like, all right, here's the off-brand Chinese version. You can, but then Microsoft would sue the ever-living crap out of you, and you'd be destitute on the freaking street unless you are in China where they have no copyright law, basically. But then as soon as Microsoft finds out you did it, you use that card, they would just smack it down, they'd brick your system. They can already do that. They can brick your whole console. So not even the red ring, they can just brick it. No longer functions. Congratulations, you f***ed up.
Yeah, the only thing for me is that I think, so it's the same way with the PS4 to where whenever a console comes out, it has so much power to it, but the company itself, through the software, locks it from getting all the power that it wants. And over time, it unlocks certain power from the GPU in order for it to be used. That's the thing that happens with games and the consoles. I think what they're going to do with this, and the Xbox Scorpio, sadly, is more powerful than the PS4 Pro. Just by the specs and what everyone's saying, that's fine. Now, the casual consumer, is that what they care about? No, what they care about is the games. So my thing about this E3 is that they have to come out full swinging with some hardcore games. And this is the only way they're going to do it, in my opinion. They have to get a good third-party publisher that's exclusive to the platform. They have to get a brand new first-party IP that has that attracts everybody. And the last one,
something to replace Halo, basically.
Well, and the last one be the new Halo game. Whether that be a new expansion to Reach, a new expansion to ODST, or Halo 6.
Well,
it's the only way.
They're not going to do a new expansion to ODST because ODST freaking blew.
Yeah.
So no, ODST wasn't I am hard pressed to find fans of ODST. I know one My best friend likes ODST, and I worked at Best Buy when ODST came out, and I sold so many copies of ODST to people who were like, yes, the next Halo game. And they came back in, and they were so pissed off at me because I sold them ODST.
I never bought that game. I played it. I've played, my friend's copy because he, like you said, was pissed off and he didn't want to see it ever again. So I played it like that. But
now,
the game was junk.
Now, another idea that was thrown around within Halo
Horrible.
was, what if they came out with the new Halo game, whole new kind of series, but it was a lot like Uncharted, a lot like Horizon, a lot like that, but it was in the same universe.
Well, so here's my thing on Halo. I actually think Halo should stop.
They do. They took something great and then they just took it way too far. It's like making a bunch of sequels.
Would number 5 bring it to an end, or would you like to see it come to an official end?
I mean, to me, Halo 3 was the end.
Yeah. 3 was the end.
Okay.
I don't believe that 4 and 5 existed.
No.
One, because Bungie left after Reach. And as soon as Bungie was out of it, I was like, all right, that should have been the end. Like, they created this masterpiece. 343 never should have taken that on. Which I understand why. Microsoft owns the studio.
Money.
They want the money. People are going to buy it. Okay, cool. But from, like, an artistic standpoint, never should have happened. It's just another one of those things. And I think that all games should have an end. Like, there shouldn't be this whole, like, we're just going to keep on going until it stops making money. They should say, hey, this is going to be the end of it, and then let's make something new. And you have to be really, really good to continue on with a video game as long as, like, Halo has been going, or series like, I'll go back to Blizzard, but Warcraft has been going for a very long time. And that's because they've been very, very good at keeping it going, keeping it alive, and keeping it interesting. And there is a universe built around it that they have millions of people into.
Those are
constantly into.
Yeah, with those kind of games, that seems a lot easier. With this one, it was focused around one character, and they just drug it out, and then broke off, and then drug it out some more.
So, what kind of games would you like to see at the E3 conference? Because everyone knows that's what's going to make this system sell. No one cares about the 4K. No one cares about how strong it is. What are the games that you want?
I want to see a massive Star Wars game. Just
exclusive to it?
Yeah, exclusive. Just come out, blow everything out of the water.
I don't think they'll wind up with exclusivity for a Star Wars game. I don't think Disney would let them.
No.
They'd have to pay a lot of money, but
it would be great.
Disney already has that goodwill with Sony anyway, because the Kingdom Hearts series has been going on as long as it has. Which Kingdom Hearts is no longer exclusive. So the next installment of Kingdom Hearts 3, when it comes out, I don't know, 5 years from now or something, will be on whatever consoles exist at that point. So we'll see when that happens.
Scorpio still be around 5 years from now.
I think so. I'm honestly confused why there's even another console generation coming out right now. Like, the current consoles haven't, as far as I'm aware, have not hit their peak as far as their power goes.
Came out
I don't
and
see
they were
what the
just
point
like,
is.
Here's a Pepsi. Our new next big thing is a Pepsi. Introducing the Scorpio Pepsi.
So games. I think there's been the whole thing that's been going on with Marvel. Obviously, PlayStation, owned by Sony, they have the exclusive Spider-Man game that's coming out. Marvel game looks fantastic.
Yeah.
We know that Square Enix and Eidos Montreal are making Guardians of the Galaxy and an Avengers game. And then we know that Telltale is also making a Guardians of the Galaxy game as well. So, what I think could happen is that Xbox could have been like, let's get on this. And they go and they talk to Marvel like, give us an exclusive game. And if they did, that would be a very smart move on them, because we know that they need something like that for this.
I don't think they'll be able to wind up with an exclusive, but I do think it's possible that they could wind up with a delay. That they could pay enough money.
Hate that.
I mean, I hate it also.
The Tomb Raider thing, man.
But yeah, like Tomb Raider, they could wind up with that same kind. They could pay for a delay on the other console from getting it. It's not unheard of. Totally possible. But I don't think that companies as big as like Disney and Marvel are going to be willing to shoot themselves in the foot and say, all right, half of you guys don't get this. They're too smart about it.
Yeah.
Which, I don't think that, like, first off, you have to be a really good developer to pull that off. Like, you have to be Naughty Dog in order to pull off exclusivity like that.
Oh, yeah.
Sucker Punch with why am I blanking on this? One of my favorite series game, Infamous.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You have to have like a really good fan base.
Well, that's why
and-
someone goes and buys a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Infamous 4.
But they have,
Uncharted.
yeah. But I mean, they have like they already
That
have
last
these people
Infamous
on lock.
game
They have
was
these
a-
developers on lock already. You know. Did you just Infamous?
Yeah,
Infamous
the
Second
last
Son.
one.
I really enjoyed Second Son.
It was fun, but it was I liked Cole way too much.
Like,
Cole was
Yeah,
That-
but that's what I like. I mean, okay, so don't get me wrong. Like I liked Cole more, but I liked how they brought Cole to an end. They didn't just
they
like
butchered.
keep it going
my
forever
thing
and
was they
ever and
butchered
ever.
Washington.
Like what, Seattle?
Yes, I saw that and I was like, this is.
Okay,
It was
first off,
cringeworthy for me.
okay,
I was
hold
just
on,
like, oh,
because I'm about to fight you on this. Because one, that developer is based in Seattle.
I know.
Two,
Their map
Seattle,
was not big enough. Seattle is so
the
much bigger
city
than
of
that.
Seattle loved that map so much they gave that developer the key to the city.
Oh my God, why?
Because they loved it so much.
That hurts my soul even
So I mean,
more because
you can be as upset about it as you want. The city of Seattle apparently wanted to drive it. Like I don't know.
they also. There's a lot of things wrong with it. They're gentrified as hell. Of course they gave them that because
Final thoughts.
Amazon's there.
Final thoughts on the E3 for
Microsoft.
Xbox. What do y'all? What are some final thoughts for you guys?
Final thoughts for me, and we didn't even get into it yet, but final thoughts are Xbox 2, they're going to talk about that. It's basically just going to be a PS4 Pro. Scorpio, they're going to lay out more details on that. Hopefully it'll be awesome.
Show the box.
Yeah, hopefully they'll show it off and they'll be able to say, hey, this is what's going to happen. And then here's actually the big one for me that I'm hoping for, HoloLens.
Yes.
I want info on
Oh my
HoloLens
gosh.
because I want augmented reality. That's the big thing for me, and they need to have a strong showing from HoloLens because that is what can actually, that I think is going to be the big game changer.
Okay, I know what
that
you're
will
talking
set them
about.
apart from Sony is HoloLens because as far as I'm aware, Sony has nothing for it.
Okay, I know how we're talking about killing off Halo here, but what if they did a Halo game with HoloLens where you
They already
played
did
as-
something like that, but that was
Really?
that was on an E3 thing or GDC where they did like a little thing like that. What are your final thoughts for Xbox E3?
Gosh. I just hope they come out with some sort of massive story-oriented game that just brings back everything I love about Xbox and Microsoft in general. Because, I mean, I started with a PlayStation, and I fell in love with Xbox when it came out, and I stayed with Xbox, you know, up until the one, and you know, they've just let me down this last couple years. These last couple years have just been kind of sad for their development team, and you know, I just want something that's gonna bring that thrill of having an Xbox One back, you know, and like hopefully the Scorpio along with that, you know, there's some sort of game that comes out that's just like mind-boggling for everybody, you know, just amazing graphics, amazing story, amazing online, that kind of thing. That's what I'm hoping for.
My final thoughts, they're going to show the box. It's going to look a lot similar like the Xbox One S. That's how I think it's going to look. They're going to show off new IP. They're going to show off the new Halo game. And they're going to show Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And I think HoloLens is not going to be here because this is the gaming place for gaming stuff. I think HoloLens will be shown at GDC where they can show more of the technology that they have at hand. That's my thoughts. But yeah. Thanks, guys, for watching here for the Morning Game & Watch Drop, Episode 4. This is Ty Robert. This is Dom. This is David. Join us for next week as we go more into depth on Sony E3 and Nintendo E3. And as always, subscribe, push that thumbs up button, leave a comment down below. And as always, we love you guys. Stay tuned.